Hey guys, so I wanted to expand on my reel just a little bit more. If you're watching the replay of this or you're watching it live, the last reel or the post that's before this is the reel that I'll be referring to. So basically this reel, I heard this audio a long time ago and I actually batch create my content a lot. And so I've had this reel saved in my drafts for probably like a month. Like I've had it stashed away for a while. And on Mondays, I usually post like a funnier reel or whatever. And so I went and I posted this one today, but it's like actually really relevant with things that I have going on in life and conversations I've been having. So I wanted to go live and just talk about it and expand on it more because it is just way too long to put in my stories. So I'm going to be talking about the importance of communication, apologizing, and honesty, because the reel basically was like everybody think they grown until it's time to apologize or communicate, apologize, or tell the truth. So I just want to expand on those things more. So communication. So this is probably one of my biggest values when it comes to any relationships, family relationships, friendships, platonic relationships, romantic relationships, like anything. If you're in the talking stage, whatever relationship I have with a person, communication is first and foremost the most important to me. And I know that a lot of us kind of struggle with having open communication for multiple reasons. Like number one, we fear rejection a lot, right? We feel like if we put our actual feelings out there, or the things that we need to ask for, or our desires or our requests or whatever it is, if we put that out there, we're scared that the other person isn't going to receive it the right way, or they're going to reject us, or maybe they won't want to be part of our lives anymore, right? And there's also, as I was talking to someone in the comments about, if you're angry, your inability to communicate when you're angry. And that happens with me a lot. Like it takes a lot to make me really mad, but when I am really mad, I definitely have to take a second to rewind and breathe and be like, I hear what you're saying. I can't respond to it right now. I need to really get myself back centered so I can respond correctly and productively in the way that I want to, which is also a form of communication. And then also too is that a lot of us have this people-pleasing complex as well, which I am extremely guilty of. I hate when people are upset with me or mad at me or have ill feelings towards me. Like I can't stand it. So I've always had a people pleaser archetype in my personality, which is something that I'm definitely trying to fix. But all of these things and all of these different reasonings or whatever could be reasons why we struggle so much with communication. But I want to go into also why communication is so important, and why it's such a big deal, and why it could save you a lot of time. Just being open with your communication is because number one is a lot of times people are in friendships or relationships or whatever, and one person wants something from the other person, or they feel a certain type of way or whatever it is, but they're scared to say it. They're scared to say that. And the other person is so willing to hear them and to accept that and give them the things that they need, but they just aren't mind readers and they don't know that. And maybe you're not getting what you want from this person, but they're totally willing to give it to you, but you don't want to ask. There's so many problems with starting relationships just because people don't simply want to open their mouth and ask for what they want. They don't want to just be honest and be like, hey, I need a little bit more of this, or because they don't want to get taken the wrong way. But I've seen a lot of relationships almost end, and actually some of them end for this reason, because they're just scared to ask for what they want, and they expect the other person to just know without them having to communicate. But at the end of the day, none of us are mind readers. Some people have way better communication skills. They have way better interpreting skills to be able to see that. Some people are really good at already knowing other people's needs. Some people are more experienced in being expressive and doing these things that people want in relationships. And also, you have to remember too is that everybody's adjusting all the time, right? When they're in new relationships or new friendships or whatever, they may be used to one person who needs certain things and they don't like certain things. We have to help each other understand each other through communication. That's the only way that it's going to work. That's the only way that people are going to really see you for who you are, that are going to understand you and your needs and what it is that you really want, is through communication. And like I said, so often we get so scared to communicate what we want and what we need because we're scared of the rejection, or we're scared that it's not going to be accepted, or it's not going to be reciprocated, or they're not going to be able to give you that. But wouldn't you rather put it out there and be like, this is what I would like, this is what I need, da 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 da, and have someone at the beginning be like, I'm not into that, I don't want to give that to you, and just save you time, instead of you trying to ride your wave with someone and not communicate what it is that you want from them or what it is that you need from them because you don't want to upset them and you want to keep them around, but you're never really getting your cup full and you're not fulfilled or anything like that. And then it gets to a point where you kind of resent them. And then maybe you do finally say something after months and months and months of not saying anything, right? And they're like, I don't want to give that to you. You just wasted 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, whatever, investing into something that was never going to give you what you wanted anyway, but you just bypassed it for so long because you wanted to hold on and you didn't want to let that person go. This is the thing, is very often we think that we want something or we want a certain person, but we don't think about why we want that person. It's not really, is this really a fit for me? Is this really a connection for me? Is this really what is going to benefit me? Is this someone that grows me? Is this someone that is going to make me be the best version of myself? Is this someone that's going to help me love myself on my own? Like, you have to look at all these things. We just want what we want sometimes, and we don't care what that means. And we're going to do what we need to do to please them and fit into their parameters. But at the end of the day, you're not getting what you want out of the situation. It is so much better and so much easier and such a time saver to just communicate your needs and like what you want at the beginning of relationships and friendships and everything else. There's so many times that I've been in situations and I'm just like, that I know this doesn't feel aligned, but I don't know how to handle it. And I kind of cruise through, and it does cause resentment at the end of the day. But I also, on the other side, I've communicated my needs. Like, dating me is like a really funny thing. Like, or people, if they try to talk to me or get to know me or whatever, like, I'm very straightforward at the beginning because like I'm 30 now and I don't want to waste anyone's time. And I feel like if you're not looking for the same kind of thing, there's no point in wasting time, you know? And for me, like, I know what I'm looking for, and I'm looking for someone who is on the same page of like, they know that they want to be in a relationship, like long term. They want kids because I want kids, and like they have the same values as me. Because if that stuff doesn't line up, what's the point? Like, for example, if you want to date someone and you know they're not looking for a long-term relationship, y'all, stop trying to change people's minds. If they don't want a relationship, trust me, they know they don't want a relationship, and you're not going to do anything different that's going to make them want a relationship. We do that so often, is we know someone doesn't want a relationship, but we're like, I'm going to be the one that changes him, or I'm going to be the one that like we're going to connect so much that they're going to want it, or like the sex is going to be bomb, or like whatever it is. And we think that they're going to change, and they're not, you guys. Like, we have to stop doing that. Like, communication at the beginning and the clarity of like what you both want, what your values are, and everything else, and what you're looking for is so, so important at the beginning. And as far as like when you're in relationships, having that communication and being open and telling people things or being upset with them, like, it is so much better to say what you need to say than holding it in, because again, that also causes resentment. So if someone does something that bothers you, there is a way that you guys can communicate that and have it be done delicately. Like, not everything has to be like like shots fired, like super intense and stuff like that. Like, the way that I try to deliver things when it's like more of an awkward thing to talk about or something that upset me or whatever, it's like, hey, like, I want to talk to you about this because I value our relationship so much, and like I want us to be on the same page and make sure that we're good. But there is something that I want to talk about because it did upset me, and that could be because of like my own triggers and my past or whatever it is. But I just wanted to express it to you. Like, I'm not blaming you or anything like that. It's just like this and this and this happened, and it made me feel this. And see how they react to you. If you are communicating very, very clearly with someone like that too, and like very gently and very intentional, like I always say, state your intentions at the beginning of communicating with someone. Like, the reason I want to talk to you about this is because I value our relationship. The reason that I want to talk to you about this is because I love you. The reason I want to talk to you about this is because whatever, like stating your intention and making them feel safe in the conversation already, that it's not to attack them, because a lot of people have triggers around being attacked. I'm one of those. I have a trigger around that because I'm used to people like tearing into me so much. But if someone is just like, hey, I just want to talk to you because like I love you and like this, not, I'm like, I'm good, you know? So just try to bring that into like when you guys are angrier or upset or something hurt you or whatever, just be intentional in your conversation and deliver it delicately. Don't not say anything at all, because it's going to sit literally, like, energy like that stays stagnant in our body and literally causes like discomfort and dis-ease and everything else. And we need to be able to help in a healthy way express that to the people that we care about, because it only makes your relationship stronger. Like, me and my best friend Missy, like, we've only had like one disagreement, and we both kind of like felt weird for a while, and we just sat down, went to lunch one day and just belted it out and had a conversation about it, and it was so loving and so intentional, and our friendship is so much stronger because of that. And that's what adult relationships and healthy relationships look like, is being able to just tell each other what's on your mind, what you're feeling, and everything else, and have it be out of a place of love and care, because you do care about the relationship that you guys have. So that's like my tidbit on communication. And now I want to talk about apologizing, because this is a huge one that is so hard for so many people. It's actually something that I've gotten to enjoy doing now, which is really weird, because obviously we don't like being wrong, right? Like, it's embarrassing when we step out of character. And just actually before I got on this recording this video, I was, sitting and praying and stuff like that. And this weekend I had a lot come up for me, like trauma wise, and things that I noticed that were happening in my life. And I just sat and took radical responsibility for everything and my part in things and my role in things. And I was just like, yo, like, I'm messing up right now. Like, I'm not doing everything the way that I should be doing things. I'm not proud of like the way that I'm acting right now. And like, I might do things like not seriously or joking around or whatever, but like that has the potential to rub people the wrong way and like karmically, like, not good stuff or whatever. And like I was like, dang, like, I was wrong. I owe some people apologies. And I really spent this morning apologizing to a couple people, of being like, you know what, like, I'm not proud of this action that I took. Like, I'm sorry. Like, like, I'm sorry that I did that. Like, that wasn't right for me. It wasn't right for you. Like, and I shouldn't have done that. Like, apologizing is actually a really powerful thing. And it makes you feel better about yourself that you took radical responsibility for it and you're able to do that and move forward with people. Because I think so much we feel shame and we feel guilt and we're embarrassed when we're wrong. But like, you guys, we're humans. We're all wrong a lot. Like 99% of the time of life, we're usually wrong. And we mess up and we're not perfect and we just don't always do the right thing all the time. Or we didn't mean something to be a certain way, but we hurt someone else, or we harmed someone else in what we're doing, or it just doesn't align with the values that we have or the kind of people that we want to be. And that's okay. It's part of life, but it's what you do when you realize that. It's if you have the ability to reflect and see that part of you and be like, you know what, that wasn't cool. Or, you know what, that's not who I want to be. You know what, I don't even like that action that I just took. And being able to take that responsibility and own up to it and apologize to people. Apologies and forgiveness will set you free, literally. And I talk about forgiveness so much with my clients and inside of Heal Your Shadow. There's literally like 2 modules that are on forgiveness. And one is about forgiving other people who wronged you. And the second one is about forgiving yourself, because sometimes we go in on ourselves for things that we allow. Sometimes we go in on ourselves because of things that we've done or whatever it is, but you can't hold that energy towards yourself, and because it makes you start to see yourself different because of the actions that you took, right? Because you're not proud of them, because you're embarrassed and you're upset that you allowed certain things, or you're upset that you did certain things. And I understand that, because I just, like I said, I was praying before I got on this live, and I was just like, damn, bro, like, I can't believe that I did this, and that. Like, I am straying away from what's important to me. I'm straying away from the things that, like, from who I want to be. Those actions don't align with those things that I want to be and who I want to be and what I'm about. Like, that doesn't align with that. I need to go apologize for that action. Like, that wasn't it. That wasn't the one. And I feel better already. Like, in my prayers, I was like, you know what? I was straying, but I take responsibility for that. And I see where I'm messing up, and I'm going to do better. I'm going to apologize to those people, and I'm going to take different actions. Definitely learning to practice this every day. Yes, Desi, it's so important. But yeah, like, being able to just self-reflect and know and admit and just be like, you know what? I'm a human. I did things wrong. That didn't align with me. I don't like what I did there. I don't like how I handled that situation, but I'm going to go apologize and I'm going to move differently. And just being hyper aware of yourself and the things that you do and the actions that you take. Apologizing is so powerful. Do not let the shame and the guilt and the embarrassment get in the way of apologizing to someone that you did wrong to, and it doesn't even, like, sometimes it's not even like a huge deal. Sometimes you apologize to people for things because it doesn't align with your values or who you want to be. And they're like, oh, that didn't even bother me, or whatever it is. Like I'm telling you, most of the time it's like that. But don't let pride get in the way of delivering an apology that needs to be delivered, like at the end of the day, because that is part of what's going to set you free. And by apologizing, again, you're taking that radical responsibility and you're able to forgive yourself for the action that you took that you don't agree with, and to change your action. Like when we suppress it and we ignore it and we just like, it builds that weirdness with the person, and you feel like disconnected, and there's always that elephant in the room. If you just do the work and you step up and you be like, yo, bro, like my bad that I did that, like that wasn't cool, whoop, 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 whoop. It gives you the freedom and them the freedom, and y'all can move forward. Like, don't be afraid to apologize. Don't let pride get in the way or embarrassment or anything like that. And the last thing that I want to attack from this reel is honesty, telling the truth, keeping it real, keeping it a buck. Like, this is so important. And oh my gosh, I've encountered some people like in the last couple of years that just are so dishonest. Like, it's crazy. And like that could start to rub off on you. So number one, I just want to talk about like who you surround yourself with. Like, you are the equivalent of the people that you surround yourself with. And if you surround yourself with people who are dishonest, who don't take ownership of anything, who don't communicate, you will be the same as those people that you're surrounding yourself with. I know this live is about all three of those kind of things, but it's also, I'm talking about you in general and why it's important for you, but also this is important for the people that you surround yourself with. Like, I spent a good amount of time of being around like a group of people that I felt like weren't honest, and they were lying all the time. And I was just like, it made me so uncomfortable, and I wasn't like cool with where I was at in that position. And I struggled for it for a long time because, again, I don't like confrontation. I don't like when people are upset with me. I don't like any of those things. So I would force myself to be okay and to be around things that I wasn't cool with. And I'd just be like awkward about it. But I prayed on it for a long time, and I was like, yo, like, I don't know what to do about this. Like, I don't know what to do about this friendship. Like, do I walk away from it? Like, like, what do I do? And God just like removed that relationship from my life completely. Like, cause he was like, you ain't finna do this. Let me help you out. So that's what happened. Love all the topics you're touching. Thank you, Des. But yeah, like, you have to really pay attention to like what is going on with the people who are around you, because that will rub off on you like 120%. Like, energy is 100% contagious. So be aware of who you spend your time with, but to reel it back into your responsibility of being honest and telling the truth, there's so much freedom also in just telling the truth and being honest with things. Like, and I always talk about this one story, and I don't want to get into it because it's a little bit too deep for this. Like, I expose a lot to you guys. Like, I expose a lot to you guys about my life and things that I've done and stuff like that. But there's a really like messed up situation that I was in. And it honestly wasn't even really my fault, but it still happened. And I took my responsibility for that, and I got confronted about it, and I was honest about it. And that person was so mad at me for a really long time. But this is the thing is, it's apologizing and honesty and communication. They all do the same thing, is of being able to be open and have everything be out in the open, and people know things about you and like what you've done, and you taking the responsibility and everything else, and just keeping it real and allowing people the opportunity to choose if they want to still be cool with you, to choose if they still want to be in a relationship with you, to choose if they still want you in their life. Like, that is so much more powerful and easier for you to work through. And like I said in the caption from that reel, is that anyone can, for the most part, respect someone that they did something wrong or whatever it is, and they kept it a buck, and they told you what it is, and gave you the respect to get to like decide if they still want to be a part of your life. But no one can respect a liar. And I will tell you guys, like 99.9% of the time, if you are lying about something, it will come to the light. Like, it will come to the light, and it's not even worth it. And so many people spend so much time just being dishonest and lying and trying to make themselves seem like this person that they're not or whatever. And then it's a constant narrative that you have to keep up with. Like, because you lied to this person, you told this person that, then you need to cover your tracks with so-and-so and blah, 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 blah. Like, that's tiring. Why do you guys want to do that? Like, it's so tiring. And it's like you're constantly running away from the truth, and you get so lost in it that you don't even know who you are anymore, and you don't even know it's truth anymore. And I've even seen people so dedicated to lies that they even start to believe their own lie. Like, it really just distorts reality for you. So the importance of just telling the truth and living in your truth. And I'm not just talking about when we mess up, telling the truth about when we mess up. It's living in your truth, being who you are, loving what you love, having the personality that you have, joking the way that you joke, having your sense of humor, like living completely and fully in your truth and just being that unapologetically and allowing people to accept you as you are or walk away from you. Because I think that part of telling the truth is just being who you truly are. And so many of us wear these masks all the time. And I do this activity at my retreats. Actually, it's a mask thing. And I have like two sides of the paper and there's masks drawn on each side. And we do like what we present to the world. And I have them write out the things that they present to the world. And then I have them do their shadow side on the mask and write out like their truth and who they really are. And there's so much that we hide from people. We hide our pain. We hide our trauma. We hide our triggers. And that takes me back to the communication at the beginning and opening relationships with people is we try to act like we're perfect and nothing bothers us and we have it all together and we let things slide that we're not okay with and all this stuff because we don't want to seem complicated. But it's going to come up later in your relationships, in your friendships, your relationships, whatever it is. We have to start being open and honest with who we are really, what is important to us, what we value, triggers that we have. All of that stuff is so important to tell the truth about and to be honest about up front. And some people won't be for you, but we spend so much time trying to put on this persona that we're one person so we can get accepted by friends and desired partners and everything else. But one day it will just eventually come to light who you really are and what your values are and what things bother you and everything else. And you spent all this time trying to build a relationship on this facade and you're just going to lose that person anyway because you can't fake it forever, you guys. Like you cannot fake it forever. And it's so much better to just find someone and connect with people and be friends with people who already just accept you for who you are, like respect your values, respect your views, respect what you bring to the table, and just value you as that person in your truth, who you are really. It's solid from jump. Like it's solid from gate. Why would you not want that, you guys? Like we spend so much time trying to please everybody and be exactly what they need, but we're looking at relationships the wrong way. And I don't mean this to like sound in a cocky way or whatever, but I've been talking to a couple of my friends about this recently is they spend so much time when they're getting to know new people and they're starting to date new people and they're like, well, what if he doesn't like me and like da-da-da. And I'm like, girl, who cares if he likes you? Do you like him? Like is he gonna be lucky enough that you want him? Does he have the values that you want in a person? Like we're so worried about other people liking us sometimes, but we're not even worried about if we really like them for who they are really. We're so worried about being liked that we're not even like putting in perspective, like, do I even like them? We're more worried about the desire to be liked by other people that we're not paying attention to if we truly like them. Like we're not even looking at who they are really and if it's really a match. Our focus is just on being liked, and being understood and everything else. And we have to switch out of that energy of trying to be accepted. We need to start living in the truth of who we are really and comfortable expressing that, comfortable expressing when we're wrong, comfortable expressing all of these things and living in our truth, and then just letting all the things align because we're living in that place of just being in existence of who we are and letting us attract people and connections and bonds and relationships because we're living in that truth of who we are. Like that's what we really need to focus on, and everything else comes seamlessly. Like with communication, apologizing and living in your truth and being honest and everything else, we've been so lost in the sauce of trying to be this perfect mold, to be what we told we were supposed to be, learning from other relationships of people that we've been with in the past that have their own trauma and damage and everything else. And we're trying to mold what the people from our past wanted us to be because we're like, well, this person didn't like us because blah, blah, blah. And they didn't like this about me. So I'm going to stop doing that when I get into relationships. No. Just be who you are, and the right people will come to you and they will be attracted to you and they will stay. Stop trying to fit this mold. Stop trying to misrepresent yourself to please other people. Like it's so much easier when you just be who you are, shine in your own light, and the right things and the right people will come to you and they're going to stay. It's too much of a job trying to pretend to be something that you're not and keep these people around. And it's just so not worth it, you guys. So that was way longer than I expected it to be, but I just wanted to expand on that reel a little bit more because it was funny and all or whatever. Like it was a joke, but like also it's like it's real spit, and I wanted to expand so much more into that about what I meant about those things and why it's so important. So I hope this was helpful. If it was helpful, make sure to repost it on your social media. I love you guys. Happy Monday. I hope you have an amazing day. send me this video later. I'm going to be posting it right now. It's going to automatically post to my IGTV, so it will be on here. I'm also probably going to take the audio from this and make it a podcast episode. So I love you guys. Have an amazing day. I will talk to you later. Bye.